Hi, I'm Mop.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Andrew.
And we're going to teach you about British imperialism in 5 minutes. So I'm going to talk about the first British Empire. So in the late 15th century, the first Queen Elizabeth is really bored and she wants to start exploring. So Queen Elizabeth said to Sir Francis Drake, hey, go sail the entire everything. To which he replied, all right, sure. And then he sailed the world and reported all his wonderful findings to Queen Elizabeth, who was like, that's nice, I guess. Then Drake gave Queen Elizabeth some gold, and she was like, oh, wait, hold up. Is there more of that shit?
Now we're interested.
Yeah, it turns out there was. And so the British decided to fuck over everyone. So they sent an army called the Pilgrims to North America and the Caribbean to set up British colonies.
That's dark.
These colonies needed people to work the lands of all of its riches, like sugar and tobacco. So people signed contracts that basically gave away their life to servitude in exchange for passage to the New World. Then the British Army was like, hey, Africa, can we steal your people and use them until they die to work the lands of all of its riches? And Africa said, no thanks. And then the British took hundreds of thousands of slaves, and they got super rich in exchange for not caring about the lives of others. The British were more rich than Gabe Newell at this point, and they were hungry for more, so they started taxing the British American colonists. The colonies wanted to start their own clubs, so they said, nah, dog, we out. There was a lot of killing, and then the colonists seceded from the British Empire and made America. The slaves were super thrilled by this because they thought the Americans would finally see how shitty it was to be treated so poorly by people more powerful than them. Anyways, that's the end of the first British Empire. Take it away, Ian.
So, yeah. Around then, the second British Empire, as it was called, it was really a continuation, but
a sequel.
Around the end of the first, Spain and Portugal fell from power. Napoleon got his shit wrecked twice in France. So there was like no more naval competition. Britain's like, whoop whoop, industrial revolution, what? And they continued their shenanigans in Africa as well as India. They had a lot of control in other continents. They expanded to Egypt, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. You know, it was all this very mysterious, exotic kind of zeitgeist or whatever, partly because of the distance and partly because of things like malaria and wild predators, which Britain hadn't had wild predators in centuries. They killed them all like long ago. So it was like, whoa, real threats. What's going on? There's mosquitoes and insect-borne illnesses. The only thing they could do, not a very good preventative, but it was like quinine. It's in tonic water. And we learned it glows in black light, so that was good. It didn't help prevent the malaria too much, that's not why, but I guess if you feel like you're drinking superhero juice, at least the awful taste is less awful. But, all of this led to jingoism, the aggressive patriotism, Rudyard Kipling writing the Jungle Book, and then the White Man's Burden, which is like, whoa, dude, step off. And, minorities held down and used for their riches. There's a reason the crown jewels are so incredibly valuable. And it's the same reason John Oliver and other British people become embarrassed and stammer apologies when you bring up the colonies. They're sorry, but they're not sorry enough to give all that gold and jewelry back. Andrew.
So I'm assuming that takes us all the way up to 1649, which is when the Commonwealth started and ran until 1660. And it describes when England and later Ireland and Scotland were ruled as a republic, kind of like America, but not really. It followed the end of the Second English Civil War. They had two, which makes them a lot cooler than America. And during the Commonwealth, there was still a lot of fighting, a lot of disputes. And so during the Commonwealth, this fighting was referred to as the Third English Civil War, which makes them even cooler.
Wow.
So 1660 is supposedly when the Commonwealth era ended, but some people like to say that it ended when Cromwell. I don't even know what that is. So in comes the Rump Parliament, the best name ever. I have 20 seconds and 3 pages of notes to read.
Talk really fast.
the Rump Parliament comes in and they're like, "Hey, we're the government," and tells people what to do, and people are like, what?" And then they keep doing it, and then shit happens.
Go!
Yeah,
Take us home.
that's it.
Oh, GG.
All right. Class
like how-
dismissed. I'm glad
Yeah.
you were able to join us for this ruckus adventure in knowledge.
Yeah, learning about the British trilogy of Revolutionary
British
Wars.
trilogy. Slam that subscribe button, tickle the like button, whisper comments to us, and we will see you next time. Farewell.